Intro. Have you ever noticed that when life gets stressful, your appetite seems to skyrocket? You crave sugar, sleep feels impossible, and the scale starts creeping upward, even if your diet hasn't changed much. That's not your imagination. That's your biology at work. In today's video, we're uncovering 7 stress triggers that cause weight gain, and more importantly, how to reverse them using simple, science-backed strategies. If you've ever wondered why stress makes fat loss feel impossible, stay tuned, because understanding this connection could completely change how you approach your health and your body. Constant pressure and overcommitment, the cortisol trap. Let's start with one of the most common and least recognized stress triggers: constant pressure. In modern life, we're conditioned to believe that being busy equals being productive. We pack our schedules, say yes to every request, and run from one obligation to the next without taking a breath. But here's the thing. Your body doesn't distinguish between a real threat and a mental one. Whether you're being chased by a tiger or racing to meet a deadline, your body reacts the same way. By releasing cortisol, your main stress hormone. Cortisol has a purpose. It keeps you alert and mobilizes energy in short bursts. But when it stays chronically elevated, it signals your body to store fat, especially around your abdomen. Why the belly? Because that's where your body's cortisol receptors are most concentrated. FitFuel Fix. Schedule micro breaks throughout your day. Step away from screens. Close your eyes and take 5 deep breaths. Even short pauses reduce cortisol and help your body feel safe again. Think of it this way. You don't need a full vacation to reset your stress. Sometimes all it takes is 60 seconds of breathing to remind your body you're not in danger anymore. Too much caffeine, too little rest. The hidden adrenal overload. Now let's talk about one of the sneakiest stress amplifiers: caffeine. Coffee in moderation can improve focus and performance. But when you start relying on caffeine to replace rest, things go wrong fast. Here's why. Caffeine stimulates your adrenal glands, the same glands that produce cortisol and adrenaline. So every time you reach for that extra cup to push through fatigue, you're actually telling your body to stay in fight or flight mode. This spikes your cortisol even higher, disrupts sleep later that night, and sets off a vicious cycle of exhaustion, cravings, and fat storage. FitFuel Fix. Cap your caffeine intake after 2 p.m. Replace your late-day coffee with green tea or water. And instead of using caffeine to fight fatigue, fix the root cause: poor recovery and overcommitment. Caffeine isn't your enemy. Dependence on it is. 3. Lack of quality sleep. The hormonal domino effect. Few things sabotage fat loss like poor sleep. When you don't sleep enough, 2 key hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, fall out of balance. Ghrelin goes up, making you feel hungrier. Leptin goes down, making it harder to feel full. Add cortisol to the mix, and your body's energy regulation goes haywire. You crave fast carbs, your willpower drops, and your metabolism slows down to conserve energy. In short, less sleep equals more fat storage, even if your calorie intake stays the same. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night have up to 30% higher cortisol levels and significantly higher abdominal fat. FitFuel Fix. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Create a sleep ritual. Dim the lights, stop screens an hour before bed, and keep your room cool. And if you can't sleep, don't scroll. Stretch, breathe, or read something relaxing. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's your body's most powerful fat loss tool. 4. Emotional eating and reward loops. When stress hijacks your brain. Ever found yourself reaching for chocolate or chips after a tough day? That's not just emotional weakness, that's neurochemistry. Stress triggers the release of cortisol, which in turn activates the brain's reward center, urging you to seek comfort, often through high-fat, high-sugar foods. These foods give a temporary dopamine hit that calms your nervous system, but they also spike your blood sugar, raise insulin, and promote fat storage. Soon, your brain starts associating stress with food relief, and a reward loop forms. FitFuel Fix. The next time you feel the urge to snack under stress, pause. Ask yourself, am I actually hungry or just anxious? If it's emotional, change the pattern. Step outside for fresh air, do 10 deep breaths, or sip warm water or herbal tea. It's not about deprivation, it's about awareness. You can't control stress, but you can control your response to it. 5. Digital overload and comparison stress. The modern anxiety multiplier. Here's a stress trigger we rarely acknowledge: digital overload. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, and online comparison create subtle but chronic stress that keeps your nervous system always on. Your brain was never meant to process this much stimulation, and as a result, cortisol quietly rises. And when you compare your body or progress to the filtered highlight reels of others online, that anxiety deepens. You start feeling behind, and emotional stress creeps back into your eating, sleeping, and motivation cycles. FitFuel Fix. Turn off non-essential notifications. Set screen-free times, like during meals or 30 minutes before bed. Try a weekend digital fast where you disconnect completely. When you control your screen, you control your stress. Perfectionism and unrealistic expectations. The motivation killer. Perfectionism is one of the most overlooked forms of stress. The constant pressure to eat perfectly, exercise perfectly, or always stay productive creates a mental cage that leads to burnout, not results. Physiologically, perfectionism lowers dopamine and increases cortisol, the exact opposite of what supports sustainable fat loss. It's why you might start strong on a plan, then crash after a few weeks, feeling frustrated and guilty. FitFuel Fix. Shift your mindset from perfection to progress. If you miss a workout, walk instead. If you overeat, move on, not spiral. Small, consistent actions always outperform all-or-nothing cycles. Remember, your body responds best to balance, not punishment. 7. Overtraining or ignoring recovery. The fitness paradox. Here's a surprising one. Even too much exercise can be a stress trigger. Exercise is a form of controlled stress. When balanced with rest, it makes you stronger. But when you overtrain, doing intense workouts daily with no recovery, your body produces chronically elevated cortisol, which breaks down muscle and slows fat loss. You might feel exhausted, sore, and stuck, no matter how hard you train. FitFuel Fix. Add rest days or active recovery sessions like stretching or yoga. Eat enough protein to rebuild muscle. And focus on sleep and hydration as part of your training plan, not afterthoughts. Fitness isn't about working harder, it's about recovering smarter. How stress causes fat gain. Let's summarize what happens inside your body under chronic stress. 1. Cortisol rises. Your body releases glucose into the bloodstream. 2. Insulin increases to manage that sugar. 3. When both stay high, your body prioritizes fat storage, especially around the belly. 4. Chronic stress also suppresses thyroid hormones and slows metabolism. 5. And finally, it increases cravings for quick energy, usually sugar and carbs. In short, stress literally rewires your metabolism to make fat loss harder. But here's the empowering part. When you learn to calm your body and manage stress effectively, your hormones rebalance naturally. That's when fat loss starts feeling effortless again. Let's recap your FitFuel Science Stress to Fat Loss plan. Take micro breaks daily to lower cortisol. Limit caffeine and prioritize rest. Sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Break emotional eating loops. Unplug from digital overload. Ditch perfectionism for consistency. Train smart, not endlessly. You can't avoid stress, but you can control how your body responds to it. And that's where sustainable fat loss truly begins. If this video helped you understand why stress makes weight loss so hard, hit that like button, subscribe to FitFuel Science, and share it with someone who's been struggling with the same. Because here, we believe fat loss isn't about restriction. It's about science, balance, and understanding your body. Stay calm, stay consistent, and stay fit-fueled.